So, David, what I like to show first when showing the software is what I call the outcome. The reality is, I assign and I sell to people that are assigners, but most of the people that use this system are going to be officials. And so I would say 99.5% of them are officials. So I'm going to show you what their experience looks like first, and then I'll
Yeah.
jump into the back end and kind of show you what the assigner experience looks like too. So this account, and bear with me as you'll see my mouse there. I'm not on my phone. I'm screen mirroring on my
Right.
computer, so I
Right.
don't have a touch screen here. But effectively, what happens is if we were to work with you, we will invite all of your officials from your end of the system. So they will download our mobile app. From there, they will fill out their personal information that's displayed here at the top of their profile. If they're under 18, they will get prompted to add parent contact information as well so that they receive notifications. And then they can find their assigner and request a pair with them. So in this,
And quick question:
yeah,
does it automate the parent contact
yeah.
if
So if you like,
if you contact the kid?
yes,
Is it going to it's going to automatically?
yep. So it'll automatically
Okay.
send their parents notifications as well. The only thing we can't control there is obviously we can't verify whether that's their parents' contact or like their school email
Right.
that they put on. So that it's up to the official to make sure that they're putting in actually their parents' contact. There's no way of us knowing that, but we do prompt them as soon as they put in their birthday to do that. From there, they can find any assigner on our system across the country. So I can go in and I could, right now I'm paired with all of these people. But let's say I'm going somewhere, random, like I'm going to be in, again, bear with me. Let's say I'm going to be in Missouri, and since you guys are soccer guys, I want to work up, a soccer game. I could filter Missouri soccer, find all of those people on our system that schedule soccer refs. And so if I was going to be in Kansas City this weekend, theoretically, I could reach out to Christine. She's a USSF licensed assigner,
Mm.
apply to join her pool, and if she accepts me, I could work a game and get paid for it when I'm back in
Mm.
Minnesota next Wednesday. So that
Gerson,
Yeah.
that is
how
how.
easy is that?
Brother, trust me, I know. Like I think
All the
also,
bull crap,
well,
all the bull crap that we
yeah.
go through to contact assigners, hope they see your email.
Well, I mean, I think even just like within your Metro Atlanta, like you got, Joey and, a number of other people, some people are in Alpharetta,
Yeah.
some people are in Midtown, some people might be west, east, or you're on the south side, and then let's say it's a teenager and they've got games, on the south side, this weekend and they want to ref games while they're down here with their dad or something like, or mom, who's also a ref. And now they just go on and see, okay, what assigners got those fields or those games. I mean, I think we need a lot more transparency into who I get that question in California all the time. It's like, hey, can I ref in that area? Can I ref up there? And it's completely a closed box, which is just not the way
And
it should
this
be. We're
this
independent
is a
contractors.
one-way street. Yeah, this is a one-way street too. So like I can't go into your pool, you can't go into mine because we do get that pushback
Mm,
sometimes. Like, well, I don't want, my guys working in fluorescent when I need them in Kansas City. And it's like, well, chances are there's, 50, 100 guys in that town that want to work your games too. And so we are doing our best to open it up and at least show officials all the opportunities that exist for them out there. But it is like I can't go into Christine's pool and invite her officials. She can't go into mine. So it is a one-way street, but we're trying to open that up, and that's kind of that like reallocation of supply point of like let's just show all these contractors the opportunities that exist for them, and then it's ultimately up to Christine if she wants to accept or reject me into her pool.
Yeah,
Now,
but it's a heck of a lot easier. I mean, you know, right now the way they've got us set up, I can see the officials for the entire Mara complex, right? Um, and I can even email them, but but therein we're not really competing with each other, and we already have the understanding that I'm the guy who needs the most help. So, you know, but in some cases, yeah, there it can get nasty. I mean, it can get real nasty, and that's a hard thing to balance. I think though, but the point of the way you have it now, though, for instance, I mean, it's a lot easier for an assigner to email the another assigner and say, "Hey, can you, if you have anybody that's extra or that's not working, can you send them my way?" And they can go on there and just click apply, and it's
yep,
like that.
yep. So they
God
can
bless.
just download the app, create an account, fill their profile out, and find any assigners in their area. Now, that doesn't mean that that assigner accepts you. It just shows you the opportunities that are out there for you.
Right.
Once you've then paired with an assigner, so I'm paired with all 6 of these people, I could work games for any of them. Now, I can also add certifications. So if I am US Soccer certified, you would just add your US Soccer ID in here, and we will cross-check those on a daily basis. Once they have their certifications
Hang on,
added,
You put your U.S.
yeah,
Soccer ID, and then it verifies with the Learning Center?
yes, it does.
Yeah, perfect.
So that will verify any US Soccer IDs.
Morrison's giving a touchdown signal. Okay, go ahead.
Because and what's important about that is that if it's verified
Right.
through US Soccer, that automatically verifies background check at
Right.
Safe
Yeah.
Sport.
And that's what I was about
You don't
to
have to
say.
have any extra baloney going on.
Yeah, we do have background checks in here, but again, this is not for if they have US Soccer, they're already doing that. And that's all done. This is like baseball and basketball, for example. I have our whole pool get background check because there's not a governing body that's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Right.
an option as well. We also have like some equipment deals with like Honig's, for example, is one of our investors. We do have some like discount deals. And then if you run payments in our system, it's totally optional, but your officials can just set up their payout method, either a debit card or a bank account right on file, right here on their app. So that is the entire setup process for an official. Now, to your point, big, bright, and right next to my profile there is
Hey, there it is. Availability.
So I can look at right here on my mobile app, and I can see all the days where I've selected, not available versus available, or it's somewhat available. And I'm just going to go to a future month here so I can show you process wise. Now we automatically will notify them at the beginning of the month to set their availability. But what I typically do is I'll set, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, since that's my work week. And I'll set that recurring weekly. And then I'll just go in and add weekend stuff as I go. I never really know if I'm available on the 4th Saturday of the month or not when I set my availability. Yeah. So that's typically my process. From there, once that's set, that automatically goes to you in the back end of the system on your side as an assigner.
A few more minutes.
No worries. I can then track all my upcoming games down here on the games tab. So here I can see these are all games that I've been assigned to that I'm going to be working. In this game in particular, I've set this up like this is a soccer game. Jack's going to be the center ref. I'm going to be the AR1. I'm getting paid $35 on that game. There's the date, time, level, location. I can even click this link and just map myself right to that field, which I'm going to go back to Refr. I can then see okay, this is my crew. So in this case, I'm working with Jack. I can copy his number or email, shoot him a quick call or a text. I can see this is the assigner of those 6 I'm paired with that actually scheduled me for that game, and even who that game is that I'm working for. So in this case, Minneapolis Youth Soccer, let's assume. And if they want to, they can display a contact point. So I could call their field director and say, hey, I'm running 5 minutes late. Just wanted to let you know. So that's how you can track your upcoming games. You can also pull all of those games right to your Apple or Google Calendar, right to your phone if you prefer to keep your calendar on, outside of the app. I can see past game history.
I just got to say, for every software out there, if some competitors listen to this, everyone needs to be doing that. There's no platform these days that should not be exporting all of the data, every assignment directly to your calendar with all of the game information, with the contact information, so it's all right there. So I don't have to go searching and figuring out, wait, what did I do? Where did I get that? How do I log into that? Oh my gosh.
So that, surprisingly,
I'm letting you have the PTSD for me right now.
Dude,
that he's not wrong at all.
It's actually surprisingly not a super hard feature either, which is baffling why more companies don't have it. So I can see upcoming games, past game history, even available games. This would be a game that's either open to tag, meaning self-assign, or request. We also have a request feature. So I could go in, and these are all games that have been published by my assigners, but I could go into a game here, and, if this rec sports game for Edina would work for me, there's, I could be the center ref or the AR. I'd get paid a little bit more that's on the center ref. Maybe I want that. I could request that position. My assigner will get notified, and once they sign off on it, it'll be in my upcoming games over here on the left. So you can do games kind of for request. Some people use that, some people don't. They also get notified. They get
Yeah, now we don't let people just self-assign, but the request feature is genius.
Yeah, and I'll show you that too, because you can categorize your pool. So they only see games that they're even qualified for to request. So I wouldn't see a varsity game if I'm not qualified for a varsity game. Now, we do notify them for things automatically, like, 24 hours before a game they're working, they'll get a notification so they don't miss it, a week before. If you have, an assignment, you have 72 hours to accept it or whatever it might be. Like those are all automated notifications. We also give you the ability to send them direct messages right to their phone. So this example here is one of the assigners that I'm with. Like, hey guys, just a quick reminder, his weekly Zoom call for giving feedback on calls and things was canceled due to the Super Bowl or whatever it is. So you can send them direct messages to their phone, and then once they've worked games, if you use our payment system, those officials can track their earnings right on their phone. So I can see these are, any given week that I've worked and every dollar that I made throughout those weeks. Like in this week in particular, August 25th to the 31st, I made $163. I worked 5 games. Those were the 5 games I worked. What I was paid, that's when it was deposited into my bank account and when I should expect to see that money live. So that's kind of the broad overview of the official side. Now I'll give you, before I jump off and onto my computer, you can poke holes, ask questions, whatever you got for me here.
It's kind of hard to poke holes in this thus far. I mean, the visual clean, the ease of use. I mean, it can't be more in broad daylight than it already is. Uh, this is so simple. I mean, it's just simple, and I can't. I don't know, David Gerson.
Well,
Do you?
I'm just telling you, man, that I think we need to move into the future. It's like, why isn't everyone doing this stuff? I don't know, but it
I
seems
mean,
like a
I'll
lot of
tell you
people are
right
still
now,
not.
part of our struggle is no longer the technology. It's like we've done that. I mean, part of our biggest struggle now is, I'm 25. A lot of our big competitors have been networking with the GHSAs of the world and the U.S. Soccer Federation since before I was alive, and so just building relationships and getting our
Yeah,
foot in the door in
yeah,
places too. Okay, so David, I just share my screen on my computer.
Yep.
Now, I
yeah.
always like to show the outcome first, which is the officials experience. I'm going to jump into kind of your end first. Now, the way we price our system is a little different than most systems out there. What we do is it is a purely usage based subscription. And so a lot of our competitors will charge like based on how many people are in your pool. We are very against that because it just directly affects supply and hinders people's ability to grow. So you could be it's usage based. Usage is quantified in the terms of games. So you pay based on how many games you schedule throughout the year. Now, you could be in our starter pack and do 200 games a year, and you could put 10,000 officials into our system if you want to. Now, basically, you're paying based on this. So it's say you do 20, 5,000 games a year, you would get, it'd be $2,500. So it gets a little bit cheaper the more games you do. The only thing that is not included in that pricing is our Refr Pay feature. So payments are totally optional, but what we do is a little bit different where we're effectively creating a consistent, timely manner for payments. So games happen on our system Monday through Sunday. Then an assigner like you or me, we get 48 hours after the week ends to make needed changes, whether that's a rainout, official doesn't show up, whatever that situation may be, a reschedule, you have a 48-hour buffer. Everyone then gets paid on Wednesday. So every official in our system across 10,000 people, I'd say 8,000 of them are getting paid through Refr Pay. They always get paid on Wednesday for their previous Monday through Sunday of work. Now, what that looks like for your clients is they get access to an account, whether it's an adult league, a high school, a youth program. They can either preload money into the system. So think if they're going to have $10,000 worth of fees across the year, they can preload 10,000. If there's $1,000 in charges from last week, on Wednesday it's going to draw from that balance and it's going to send them a balance report on what they spent, where that money went. The other option is they can just hook up direct deposit. On Wednesday, it's just going to draw that $1,000 out of their account and distribute it to you and the officials based on the fees. So super easy, intuitive like payment system, and also just kind of forces accountability and makes sure that officials are paid in a timely, consistent manner. So assigners pay for access to the system based on how many games they do a year. The only additional cost is just processing fees on moving money. Any questions there? I'm going to jump into the back end here.
Go for
I'm
it.
going to share my screen here. So this is an assigner account in the system. In this case, I believe it's gold tier soccer officials. Now, the first step in the process, David, if we were to work with you, is to basically pair you with someone on our team. We will then do the onboarding process with you. So the first step is to create your account and fill out your profile. When I filtered to Montana or Missouri soccer and you saw a few accounts there, like that's how people will find you in the system. So we'll fill out your profile based on your location, sports that you do. And then if you take like a per game fee, like 25%, I think you'd mentioned, you can also put a payout method on file so that you can get paid for those fees through here as well. From there, the entire setup process happens in management. This is where all of your data is stored. What we first will do is invite your pool of officials. So you could do one at a time. You could drag in a list of 600 or 6,000 officials if you want to. It'll invite all those officials to download the app and pair with you on their account. You can then track that entire history of like all the people you've invited, where they're at in this process of getting set up. Once they're set up, they appear in your pool here. From there, we set things up like preferences. Like, for example, do you want your officials to accept or reject their assignments? I actually leave that off because if someone tells me they're available, I'm like, I don't really want to give them another out to get out of that game. You might want to keep
Right.
it on. You might want to put that at 24 hours or a full week, totally up to you. We then will take all of your venues and add those into the system. So each individual address, and then if there's different fields at that address, you can put sub IDs in so the official knows what field they're actually going to be working at. Then we create tags. Tags is probably the most important feature in the system. It's basically a custom ranking system. So you get to rank your pool however you want to, and I might rank my pool completely differently. What I do is level 1, 2, 3, 4, and a mentor tag. I pair my level ones on their first 5 to 10 games with a mentor. You could do varsity, sub varsity, 16U, 14U, 12U. I mean, you could do level 1 center ref, level 1 ARs, field setup, concession tags. But basically, you get to create your own way to rank your pool by creating your own tags. And so, what that looks like in practice is, let's say in my pool, Wyatt is the best official in our pool. He's background checked. He can do any level 1, 2, 3, 4 rec games. He's a field director. He can do basically any game we put out there. Whereas, let's say Zach here, for example, is that 16-year-old that can really only work 10 and 12U games because he's a few years older than them and he has that level 1 tag only. Now, that's how you create the tags and how you categorize your pool. Now, I'll probably blow your mind a little bit with our import feature, but the way you actually start assigning games is obviously it would appear without games in the system at first. You could add games one at a time. You can also bring games in bulk. Now, David, let me ask you this with your experience with your clubs. Like in a perfect world, you download this template, they send it back to you exactly how the schedule needs to be uploaded into the system, and you just drag it in here. I would say 90% of the time, I do mostly tournaments, so probably a higher percentage, but 90% of the time, they butcher the spreadsheet completely, and I got to spend an hour reorganizing the sheet.
And therein is the bulk of my stack officials nightmare.
Okay, so what I'm going to show you here is I'm going to actually stop sharing my screen for a second, and I'm going to pull up. This is an example of literally a tournament I pulled off of Google, but this is a basketball tournament for NCAA basketball. We have in our system an AI import tool.
Well, I lost the share.
Yep.
Okay, don't tell me you're about to tell that you're about to drag that
So
bracket
I'm going to
into
drag.
that box.
We have an AI import tool. So that picture I just showed you, which now is, I'm going to drag off my desktop into here. Basically, you could take a handwritten schedule from a tournament provider that wrote it pen and paper and take a picture of it. And we know that these are all basketball games. Let's just say they're all varsity tourney games, and they're all 60 minutes. I can
I know where
continue.
this is going.
Now, instead of spending 2 hours reorganizing a spreadsheet, that just turned that into an uploadable.
Gerson,
Yeah, that's an uploadable
Gerson,
schedule.
I know.
what just happened?
I know.
What was that?
I know, dude. Trust me.
That is an AI
Gerson.
model. That is, yeah.
Oh my God. You got to be kidding me.
So that's how easy it is to get games into the system. Now I'm going to show you one game so you can see kind of how that tagging system works. And to your point earlier, let's say for me this is a 10U baseball game, or in your case a 10U soccer game. You know, my center ref is a plate umpire, and your AR is, you know, is my base umpire. Now I've categorized my pool, and again, you might categorize your pool totally differently. What I'm assuming here is, you know, I might want a level 2 doing the plate position, a little more qualified, and a level 1 could do the bases. Now, in this list, I will see my pool, only the people I've qualified for level 2. So in this case, Wyatt has told me he's available. I'm available at this time. Andrew down here, he hasn't set his availability, so I don't know if he's available or not. So I could plug Wyatt in and just make that assignment. I could also override the system and plug Andrew in. I'll get a little warning, but it'll just telling me he hasn't set his availability yet. If they're busy at that time, it'll show a red X on their calendar that they blocked their availability. And if they're on another game, it'll show a whistle and what game they're on. So you know, are they available, not available, haven't set their availability yet, or they're already working a game and what game they're working. In this case, I always assign my plate position, like the center ref for you, the one calling balls and strikes for me, a little more important. What I often do is open a request for the base position. Now, there's two types of self-assign. One is open to tag. This is pure self-assign. If someone has that level 1, they can see this position and they can pick it up and work that game. I never do that because if I do 100 games, someone would go in there and take 30 of them and gamify it. What I do a lot is open a request. Same functionality. If you see this, if you have level 1, you can see this and you can request that position. I will get a hand icon next to anyone's name that's requested it, and I get to choose who's the best fit for that job. So you might request 30 games, you just might only get, 4 or 5 of them, whatever it might be. Does that make sense though, as to how you like break down your pool into levels and then how you would assign off of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can just
That's-
like I know assigners for tournaments. Like it sounds like hell. Like I've never personally had to do it, but you see the emails. At,
There
like 2,
is
3
no other hell like it, Gerson.
like, but
So
but like when you get the schedule, like you could actually, hey, next 24 hours, like today, go in there and see, pick your schedule. You can go through, select them all, whatnot, and then as an assigner, then you can go in and assign out the ones that are left to the people who didn't respond. But I mean, there are definitely times, like as a referee, like I know I'm available during these times. These are the games that I want. I could go in and I could select them. I feel like it would be a lot easier for everyone if I would do that.
It would be. And that was the first thought I had, was that, I mean, it is a snipe hunt sometimes to, I don't know if y'all have snipe hunts in Minnesota, but they're popular down here. But it's a snipe hunt, at least in my experience with my situation right now, that, I mean, you are looking for the entire state referee list, and you are literally emailing everybody in Georgia, as much as your Google will allow you to do at any given time, and it is such a pain. I'll tell you the biggest pain though, and you just answered one of my questions that I never got to earlier, was how easy is it to load games? Because God help us all, I have had moments where I have gotten spreadsheet schedules that made no sense.
Yep.
I mean, it was all labeled, but it was hard. It was just not user friendly, as an assigner. And then to have to transfer that into the stupid spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And then put it in, load it up, and then to get an error report.
And then
can't load it because you've got a comma right here.
I've been there. I mean, I've had 15 spreadsheets next to each other on my desktop, going back and forth trying to get the error to go away.
Yeah. Huck, can you do that one more time? Can you grab a spreadsheet, maybe throw it in to the AI? I mean, you used
Yeah.
again like a NCAA bracket, but I think let's use a practical application if you can grab a spreadsheet and see if it
Yeah. Let
does
me
it the
see
same
if I
way.
have like,
Because I can
I mean,
totally
this is,
appreciate how insane that is for an assigner who's
so in a
trying to
perfect
schedule.
world, yeah, they send you the schedule back and
Right.
it's like, okay, they've done all the columns right. Like it knows, okay, even if they mess columns up and rearrange them, like you can drag those to the right place. You'd see the, list you're importing. In this case, it's like a past date, but then you would select which organization is paying those officials. Now, again, that's like in most cases not how it works in a, perfect world. Where if you have a wonky schedule, you can just drag it into here. So I'll use that same example because that's the one I have on my
Yeah, I want to
desktop.
see it again.
But in that
So
case, it's a basketball tournament, and I'll just type these in. And let's say by default, these are all 60-minute games. It's basically just going in an LLM and building a spreadsheet right now. And so it just took that tournament. Granted, it was small, and it just took it from a picture and made it into a tournament. And from there, I again just select which is the tournament host that's paying me and the officials, and I can upload those into the system. So in a perfect world, like let's say a tournament to your point, like let's just say I just uploaded all 50 of these games in bulk because I use the AI format tool instead of spending 2 hours on a spreadsheet. Now I showed you guys one game, but I can bulk edit. So let's say I'm going to edit all 50 of these games now. Like even if I change the title, it's going to change for all 50 of those games I've selected. If this is a 50 game tournament and it's all 10U, I could go in and say I want my plate umpire to be a level 2 and I'm going to lock that position. I want my base umpire to be a level 1, and I'm going to put that position open to request. And I could publish all 50 of these games right now, and everyone could start, requesting their level 1, and then I can go back in and start making my plate assignments for the people that I kind of trust behind the plate. So that's like
that is
how
just
efficient you can
insane.
do a tournament.
Insane.
Now,
I mean,
so that's bulk editing. You can also link games together, as you can see. Like maybe you have a JV varsity game, you want the same crew to do both. You can link those games together. You can also message officials directly from here. So I'm going to filter down to just filled games for now. But let's say like these two games, and let's look here like Andrew and Wyatt and okay Gus and Hannah. So like let's say all three of these games just got moved to next week because of rain. I can select those games, hit message officials, and it will populate my message with those four officials that were on all three of those games. And I could send them a quick notification. The other really great thing about those tags is you can use those to send notifications. And so at the beginning of the month, you might send your whole pool a message like, hey, go set your availability. But let's say you've got a high level game. Like for me, a 16 game is pretty high level with the tournaments we would do where only my level fours even qualify for that position. Like if someone dropped today and I've got a game on Friday, I'm not going to tell my ones, twos, and threes. I'm just going to message the 9 people that are in level 4, and you can send those right to their phone, kind of like I showed you. Adam Bates and his Sunday Zoom call getting
yeah,
canceled for the Super Bowl, or you can send it to their email on file as well.
Can you
You are
you said straight to the phone, so you can text or is it a notification?
It's not a text, it's a push
Okay,
notification.
cool.
The reason we don't do texts is we do have a lot of minors on the system. And
Uh-huh.
so to allow like back and forth conversations is a little bit of a security implication on our end.
Right.
So
yeah,
it's only a one-way notification and if you want, you can text them off the platform. We just don't want that messaging
Yeah,
happening
yeah, no, I
on our
understand.
system where we're liable. But you are limited, like Apple rules, you can only do 160 characters on a push notification. With an email, you can send up to 10,000, and you can add files, links, rule
Right.
things, stuff like that as well.
Mhm.
So that's kind of the broad overview. Um, we also have great like analytics in here. So if you go and like your main page, you can expand and see all the officials or contrast. You can filter down to things like, maybe I just want to work on games free Dynarec sports and only games that are unfilled still. I could filter down and know that those are the games I have to work on. You also can pull up analytics to see, right now I'm filtered down to 70 games. I only have 63 assignments on those 70 games. Only 10 of them are filled and 53, are unfilled slots that I need to work on. If I reset that to all of my games, you'd see I have 103 games, a little bit over one person per game, 45 filled, and 68 I have to work on. So you can start to use those to really identify like what are the areas of focus for this week as well. I'm gonna shut up and stop talking, and I'll let you guys ask questions if you have any.
You've already answered another question that I had, which was how easy is it to communicate on screen where you are with, I mean, all the information is there to reference, and to filter like that. I mean, I'm usually not one who's speechless, but I'm kind of speechless. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, coming on here, but this is incredible.
Yeah. The last thing I'm going to show you is from the recruiting side. It sounds like you were dealing with like recruiting stuff. One of the things we also do is we build websites for most of our clients. If they do more than 5,000 games a year, we actually include this as part of our service. I mean, I meet a lot of people that are still recruiting on, most of it's word of mouth as it should be, but
Yeah.
I still meet people that are recruiting with a piece of paper on the back of a baseball diamond. So we build websites for all of our signing groups. And so I'll show you like an example of one. Like this here is Dream Big Officials. And picture this as, his name is Dennis, but picture this as what we would build for Mara, or is that the acronym? But this shows
Yeah.
Dennis is in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He owns Dream Big Officials. They service, 4 different sports. They do a 3,000 plus games a year. These are the clients that they actually serve, those officials for.
That is beautiful.
This is Dennis's backstory and just like how did he get started as an assigner and what's his story. But he does a lot of events too, and so we're putting in call to actions of like, why would you start as an official? Well, click this link here, and you can fill out this form and send Dennis a message directly that you're interested in joining his pool. Or the inverse of that is like, are you in Albuquerque and looking for someone else to schedule your officials? Reach out, and we'd love to schedule your games. He's doing tons of tournaments, so we're showing like dates and times throughout the year where he's busy versus weekends where he's open and he could take on more work. These websites all look and feel very similar. Like this is someone actually in your neck of the woods that does fast pitch in Georgia, and they're all reflecting their branding, their messaging. And in Dustin's case here, he does equipment sales, so that link will actually take you to his equipment site. He's doing events as well, but he also has resources, how to sign up, camps that he's running, things like that. So they all look and feel very similar, but obviously reflecting your branding, your mission, your values, etc. This is actually a guy here locally in Minneapolis that does basketball. So that's kind of the last thing I wanted to show you is that's something that we do build is like it's the first instant ROI we can provide an organization is just we're going to build you a website, we're going to do SEO so that you appear higher on Google, and we're going to help you from a recruiting mechanism.
Stunned.
Stop.
I'm just absolutely stunned.
Now, David, chop that up and put it into a 20-minute podcast.
Well, I mean, I'll probably put it in a couple of little video clips.
He knew he was in trouble when he brought me on because I can be verbose.
Yeah,
but
I think there's good things. I think the big thing again, just for me as a referee, like, dude, I'm a busy guy all week. When I finally get to game day on Saturday, or the day before, and I want to look at my games, I just want it to be simple, clean, and not think as to where I need to go looking and hunting and pecking and another login and password and how to navigate that site. Like an app on the phone that gives me all the information I need. If I'm running late, one click, call someone on my crew. See what am I getting paid? Did I get paid? I mean, and David, like we've had things. It's like the one side of things when things are electronic payment. Okay, well that's good. It's going in my bank account, but what am I getting paid? Like you work 3 different games, 3 different levels. You have no idea what's the center getting, whatever. I don't even know. And then once you're done, your assignment disappears. I don't know how many games I've worked and what I'm owed, right? Or if it's cash, and I have this now in California, it's all cash at the field. It's like, well, okay, they gave us $140. What's the split? How are we supposed to divvy this out? Oh, it's an odd number. It's like 56.50. Like, do anyone have quarters? I'm like, or Venmo and PayPal.
Don't use pennies.
It's like crazy, and then you have no idea. Like, what did I earn? What did I not? Now, some people might like that, but still, it's not convenient. And then you got people bringing cash to the field, and you know they're not bringing you exact change. So just for me, I just think things could be a lot easier for the referee, and I like that this system just makes it easy for me to show up and do what I need to do and get assignments and stuff, which is nice. I don't know,
I mean, I'll
Well,
David.
I'll tell you
and
my dream at one point with this when I was in college. I mean, I was living in the back of my dad's Sprinter van and going from college campus to campus pitching at their startup competitions. And my dream was that I could pull up to a campus, pull up an app on my phone, find an assigner in the area, work a game, get paid in the parking lot, and pick up a six pack on my way home. It's we're not there yet, but we're getting closer by the day.
Yeah, I don't know,
well,
David. What are your thoughts?
I think that, going off of one of the things you were saying earlier, I was just looking at my phone, and I have like 6 different assigning platforms on here, depending on who I'm going to use. And I'm going to be honest with you, I will not. I have turned down working at certain places because I don't like using the app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, and and to have that on your side, I'm going to tell you, anyone who hears this, I hope Gerson cuts this one in. This is brilliant, super easy for referees, super easy for assigners. I have not seen, ramp is as close to what I've seen on the screen today, and this is so clean, so easy. I mean, it's taking. I've probably counted, just with the little things that you have done to mainstream the assigning process, hours of time and frustration
Mhm.
that I can use to walk the dog or eat dinner without a computer at my side.
Yeah. And the way
And
we see this is it's like an 80-20 split. A lot of assigners are spending, and honestly, sometimes the perfect person for an assigning role is like a data analyst that's really good with people. They can handle data, but they're also good at building relationships and helping people move up the ranks. Like our goal with this is how do we flip this script so that, the average assigner who's not that person can, inverse it from spending 80% of their time on the busy work to
yeah,
and 20% on the time on what matters to like inverse that. Like the reality is we are only as good as our list of names and our relationships with them. So how can we give you your time back to actually do the things that grow the business, like finding more officials, being there when the 15-year-old kid starts out, and is getting reamed at
yeah,
with the boards. So that, I mean, at the end of the day, I really appreciate your time and I appreciate the positive feedback. It's been 4 years of hard work and it means a lot. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't even believe in good business ideas at this point. I think you're only as good as your ability to listen and learn and continue to make it better. So it's
that is
always
so
great
true.
hearing positive feedback because I've been ripped to shreds a few times over the
Ah,
4 years.
no, we
Yeah,
appreciate it, dude.
yeah, and I'm happy to. I mean, because like anything else, I'll be in the shower, and that's where I'll think of something else. And of course, I'm not going to talk to you there. Uh, and I will hit Gerson
Yep.
up with things that I've thought of that I may not have remembered, or we just didn't have time to go over. But with what I've seen today, I can only imagine it would be just nitpicky. I mean, really, just uncalled for nitpicky stuff that I would question or even ask about. I mean, and perhaps it might spur an idea that gets included in the future for you guys. But what you have there right now, it is going to light the assigning world on fire. I think. I mean, I'm just so impressed.
I love it.
I really am. I am impressed